I pulled this Goblin 570 from my little bird, and we'll proceed with a complete setup of the MSH FCU using application 3.4.146, and this will be a scale setup. First of all, I made sure that the transmitter, the receiver, the operating system, which is ETOS in this case, FCU, all the components at the latest firmware installed. I did the factory reset to the FCU, and I will start from page 1. So transmitter brand is Free Sky. Motor is Ego Drift 4025 with the low kV for scale application, 825 kV. Motor control is Hobby Wing. As long as they are 1520 and 333, the choice is okay. Tail servo is same as a 1520, 333. See, I don't specify blades, model either. Transmitter is transmitter mode 2. Okay, second page is unit orientation. It's currently installed on the side to the left with wires at the back. Connection is F-bus, and we connect CH3 to the S-port connector on the TDR6, which has been already set to F-bus. Okay, so now time to switch on the receiver and transmitter. We'll do calibration.
Welcome to Ethos.
So I have to go to the output on the transmitter. Calibration is done. Next, page 6. HR3 for the Goblin 570 and counterclockwise rotation for the head mast. Servos 1520, 333, and tail 1520, 333 as well in this case. Next will be the leveling of the swash plate. For this I need a tool. I use a TRX 600 tool, which works perfectly in this case. I made sure before that all 3 links are the same distance, same length, and this is very important. The swash plate leveling is not done with the links, it's done with the software from MSH. So yes, they are all 3 correct. On page 8, servo 1, this, servo 2, servo 3. If I move collective up, I see that everything is off. So next thing I'll be doing is reversing servos. Right, left, forward, backward, collective. Servos are correct now. Now let's level the swash plate. all three legs are touching now. So I have leveled my swash plate. "40 microsecond, 24 microsecond, minus 36 microsecond." As long as we stay within the correct parameters, we won't get a red marker here down. So the hardware setup is consistent enough so the software setup comes to all three servos being properly adjusted. Okay, now that I've found center approximately, I will see for the last cyclic choice on page number 8, which is blade deflection. Now MSH recommends plus and minus 7. So to reach that, I have to hold the gauge and see how much I get. 5.9, 6.3, but okay, average about 6. So I will have to increase deflection. It's currently at 35%. I'll go see, try 37%. 6.7, 7, so we got 6.8, and I've increased to 37%, so that will be 38% to get my plus and minus 7. Also, I forgot to mention that I now have minus 10.5, and slightly above 11. So this is okay for now. I will check it when I have the blades on, because it is very easy to be cross-side here. So you see, value gets closer to what it should be, because the sensor is not perpendicular to the axis. So I will leave this like that for now. And the next page, the tail will be dealt with when the mechanics are in the helicopter. Okay, we have more than 2 blades, and the blades are 500. Page 11 is interesting. On purpose, I selected beginner, acro, and 3D. But let's have a look at the advanced page now. Okay, we're on the setup and the cyclic. Okay, this is bank 1, bank 2, bank 3. We remember we had acro and we had 3D there. So here, rotational speed 160, rotational speed 160. It's both cyclic aileron, cyclic elevator. And as we increased proficiency, we have acro here, which gives rotation 350, 350, and 3D 420, 420. So you have basically in front of you dual rates or triple rates. So this is low rate, this is medium rate, this is maximum rate. And each one is selectable through channel 7. And as you see, I selected setup 3, setup 2, setup 1. Now, this is what is paired by default in this beta version of the software. 160 degrees second, 350, 420. I found that to fly a scale helicopter, these values are very good because it's very smooth, but you can change them at will. It's not because it's called advanced menu that you cannot touch it. As a matter of fact, it is important to adjust it to your needs. So I'm quite happy with this. The tail, 300, 430, 500. I usually fly at 220, but depends how crisp you want your tail to be. Okay, I use governor, I use bailout all the time because I use also the external governor. Input is interesting because we have the exponential here. Automatically minus 30, minus 30, minus 25, minus 10. I fly minus 35, minus 40, minus 25, and minus 15. Why minus 15 in the pitch? It makes my hover smoother. It's easier. The model is less touchy in the hover. That's it. It's personal preference. That's all it is. So this is the basic, the most important difference now we notice. We don't have to feel bad as scalers to use the beginner selection because this is what Rick picked, which is closer to the parameters I provided to him. So you select beginner, it's scale flying. Beginner does not mean an aid to flying, like if it were a drone. You still have to fly the helicopter, but it's tamed down for smooth flight. So I have selected beginner on all my three banks for scale flying. Next page is the motor. This concludes part one of the scale setup, and I will put everything back together, and we'll do tracking and pitch curves once the blades are on, and eventually we'll try a test flight outside, but temperature is quite cold these days.